بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أما بعد، فالسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته أجمعين. أما بعد، فالسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. My beloved and dear teen and sisters, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you wherever you may be, and may Allah Jalla wa Az make you of those that are grateful to Him whenever He gives you something, those that are patient whenever He tests you, and those who when they sin they seek the forgiveness of their Rabb, because these three traits are the doorway. Someone is out there to get you, to destroy you, then you have to be on guard, and you have to be ready, you have to be prepared. And the stage that you're at right now in life, those of you that have entered into the stage of puberty, of bulugh, of maturity, the stage of life that you are at right now is a very, very crucial stage, a very important stage, and in some aspects a very... Shaitan, the devil, he is after you and he's after me, he's after all of us. But the thing is now you are becoming a man, are becoming a woman. In the eyes of your mother, your father, you might still be a child. In the eyes of the law, perhaps you're still just a child. But in the eyes of the one who gave you life, you're now a man, you're now a woman. And so now you're having to deal with the attacks of Shaitan against you, the plots of the devil against you, and realizing at the same time that now you are responsible for what you do, for what you say, and for the decisions that you make. And these beginning stages of adulthood that you are in right now, if you make the right decision, then you will end up never ever regretting the decision that you've made, and you'll enjoy a life of happiness. But if it's the case that you end up taking the wrong direction in life, going in the wrong direction, making the wrong decision, then the consequences of that wrong decision could be awful and could be tragic. The choices that you have in life are ultimately two. One that is the right choice, and that is worshipping only Allah, doing what He made you to be an obedient Muslim, a good Muslim to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, living your life in remembrance of Him and turning to Him, living your life the way that He designed for you to live it. Or you have the second option, which is to turn away from Allah, turn away from the deen of Allah, and become neglectful of your Khaliq, your Maker, the Most High. Now the situation that most of you are in, the situation of having the challenges of peer pressure, people asking you to disobey Allah, the challenges of asking you to enter into perhaps certain relationships which you know Allah Jalla wa Ala has made haram, asking you to engage in certain behaviors, things that you know that Allah Jalla wa Ala hates for you to do. The pressure is great upon you. The pressure is severe upon you. Those of you that live in non-Muslim countries, those of you that are in an environment that is not Islamic, we understand the pressures that you're under. But if you focus on what your life is actually meant to be about, if you focus on where you're actually meant to head towards in your life, what you have been created to do, then that will be a powerful weapon in being able to defend yourself against the temptations of shaitan. He is an enemy to you. And so everybody else in your neighborhood, in your school, in your college, for example, they're doing things that shaitan is tempting you to do. Everybody else is in a haram relationship, for example. And so shaitan says to you, why don't you do it as well? Everybody else is doing it. Your friends, your mates, your pals, your associates, they perhaps might be taking haram substances, and you know what I mean by that. And shaitan the pressure upon you is no doubt severe. But if you just realize one thing, and that is that your life is very, very limited. The time that you have in this world, the time that you have to show to Allah that you want to be a good person, a good Muslim, that time is very, very limited, and the clock is never going to stop for you. In fact, this time is in reality you. The units of time, the years, the months, the weeks, the days, they are you. They are part of you. So whenever a year goes by, then part of you has also gone by, and it shall never ever come back. That month that went past last month, that month, when it went, you went as well. And that part of you is never going to return. Whenever a day passes by, part of you goes. Whenever an hour passes by, a minute passes by, a second passes by, then a part of you has gone. And it's never ever going to come back. Whatever you did in that hour, in that minute, in that second, has now been sealed and locked. And it shall only become manifest when you stand in front of your Lord the Most High. And soon a time will come when the last grains of those units of time will remain for you. Soon a time will come when there'll only be a few seconds left for you upon this earth. And if you want to realize and see and feel how soon that time is, then do one thing. Just go back into the past. Think about the time when you were a young boy, a young girl. Think about that time when your father or your mother would take you to school, primary school, kindergarten. Think about the time when you first went into your school as a little boy? Does it really seem as though it was a long, long time ago? Or does it seem like it was just yesterday? Does it really seem like it was years ago when your mother or your father, they took you to school? Or does it seem like it was just yesterday? No doubt it seems like it was just yesterday. Now if you look and think and ponder about the time that remains from now until the time when you will leave this world, then that time is just as short. And the time from now till tomorrow will pass just as quickly. And soon you're going to be lying upon that bed known as the deathbed. That time when you'll be leaving this world and nothing will remain of you in this world except your body. Now that body of yours, my young brother and my young sister, may Allah bless you, that body of yours, it will be taken by your friends or your relatives, your family members, and they will wash that body because they care for you. They will wash and they will clean that body of yours because they care for you. And then after that, they will also end up shrouding your body, wrapping your body, preparing your body for you to be placed in your next home, the home of your body. And that is the home of the grave. And when your relatives, your friends, your family members, when they place you into that grave, and when they place that soil on top of your body in that grave, then they may stand after they've buried you for a while, seeking forgiveness for you. But then the point will come for them to leave and you'll be by yourself. This death, thinking about it and reflecting about it, most people would consider it to be a morbid thought, a thought that isn't pleasing. People don't like to talk about death. People don't like to think about death. However, the Messenger alayhi salatu wassalam, your Prophet, he told us not just to remember death, but in fact he told us to increase in remembering death. Because remember that enemy of yours, the shaitan, the devil, the greatest weapon that you have in fighting against the temptations of the devil against you, the greatest ammunition that you have in this war that the devil is waging against you and defending yourself in this war, is doing this, thinking about al-maut, remembering death and the destination that you're heading towards. Now the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam, he told us about this journey. He told us about this journey that all of us are going to face. The believing man, the good Muslim, the righteous person, when he goes on this journey, the journey that begins when your soul leaves your body, then he told us that angels will come, and these angels will sit as far as the eye can see. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because he made us, he knows what we like, he knows what we love, and he knows that we love nice things, to see nice things. We love to see bright things. And so the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam, he told us that these angels that will come down, they will have beautiful shining faces, white faces, faces that are as radiant as the sun. And then he alayhi salatu wasalam told us that these angels will have something with them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He knows that we like nice clothing, nice soft material, nice garments. These angels will come down and they will have cloth with them, cloth that is unlike the cloth in this dunya, unlike the cloth that you see before your eyes right now. They will come with a cloth that is unlike what you've ever seen. And this cloth will be accompanied by something else. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because He made us, He knows that we love good fragrance, good perfume, good smells. And so these angels that will come down, Allah Jalla wa Az will have given them the cloth, and He will give them fragrances from Jannah, fragrances and perfume which is unlike the perfume of this life. And then the angel of death will come to you if you die as a believer, as a righteous person. The angel of death will come to you and will say to you, "O pleasant soul, O good soul, O righteous soul, come out to the pleasure of your Lord, come out to the forgiveness of your Lord." And then your soul will come out of your body. Do you know how easily it will come out of your body, my brother? You've seen a jug before, a jug of water, a water skin of water before. And you've noticed how those drops of water, how they just easily come out of the jug. Allah's Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam, he told us that when the soul of the believing man, the believing woman, comes out of his body, it will come out just like a drop of water comes out of a water skin. And then the angels, they won't hesitate, they won't delay in wrapping your body with that cloth, that beautiful cloth. And then when they do that, a strong smell will come out of your body, a beautiful smell, a smell that is the most beautiful smell upon the earth. It will come out of your body, and the angels, they'll hold you and they'll take your body up towards the heavens. The higher that they take and the more that they take your body up, then everybody that sees your body, they'll say, "Who is this beautiful good soul?" And so the angels will say, "This is so-and-so, the son of so-and-so, the daughter of so-and-so," giving you the best names that you had in this life. And then they will reach the door to the first heaven. They'll ask for the door to be opened. The door will be opened. And then your soul, it will continue going through each heaven, heaven after heaven, and all the inhabitants of those heavens, they keep on saying, "Who is this good soul? Who is this sweet soul? Who is this pure soul?" Until you reach the seventh heaven. And then an announcement is made. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will say, "Write his record in Al-Illiyin. Write her record in Al-Illiyin, in the list of righteous souls." And then Allah, He shall say, "Send him back to earth, for I created them from it, and I shall return them to it, and I shall bring them out from it once again." And then you'll be returned back to your grave. And then you'll be made to sit up. Your grave will be opened up for you, and you'll be made to sit up. And two angels shall come to you, my young beloved brother and sister, may Allah bless you. Two angels are going to come, and they're going to ask you questions. They'll ask you, who is your Lord? Who is your Rabb? Who is your creator, your maker, your sustainer? Because you worshipped only Allah, you're going to say, "My Lord is Allah." The angels are going to ask you, what is your religion? because you followed the true religion that Allah sent, then you're going to say my religion is Islam. Those two angels will then ask you, who is this man that was sent to you? Because you followed the Messenger of Allah alayhi salatu wasalam, then you shall say, my messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Then the angel shall say, how did you know that? How did you know this? That your Lord is Allah, your religion is Islam, that man that was sent to you was your messenger Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. You shall then reply by saying, because I read the book of Allah and I believed in it. And then an announcement shall be made. Allah shall say, my servant has spoken the truth. Therefore furnish him from paradise. Clothe him with the clothes of paradise. And open for him a door to paradise. So when you have that bed provided to you from paradise, when you have the clothes of paradise given to you, when you have that door open to you from paradise in your grave, someone will come to you. And the one that will come to you will have a beautiful face with beautiful clothing, a beautiful appearance. And you're going to say, who are you? You seem like someone that is bringing me good news. And so that person will say that I am your good deeds. I am your good deeds. And then you're going to say, oh Allah, make the day of judgment come. Make the day of judgment come, because now you know that life is going to be beautiful for you. Now you know paradise awaits you. And then you'll be told to remain, to rest in this pleasant grave of yours. This grave which will be a beautiful place for you. That day, my brother and my sister, that day, that first day in your grave will be the greatest day that you will have ever tasted in your life. That day will be the most pleasant, sweetest day that you will have ever experienced in your life. May Allah the Most High bless you to reach that day. So that is one option that you have, my brother and my sister. That is one direction that you can take in life. And the choice, as I said before, it is up to you. Two choices. That is one direction, one choice. The destination to a good life as soon as you leave this world. But then another choice and another destination, another option. The person who leaves this world, but he chooses another option to take when he was alive. The disbeliever in Islam. The one who disobeys Allah. And the Muslim who is sinful and rebellious against Allah and heedless of Allah and forgets about Allah. Then for such a person for whom punishment has been written, when they leave this world, then the journey shall be very different. When they leave this world, then it shall not be a happy journey, but it shall be a very dark and depressing and sinister journey. The angels shall come, sitting as far as the eye can see. However, unlike before, these angels won't have bright faces, but they'll have dark, gloomy, unwelcoming faces. Now you remember that the angels of mercy, they had cloth, beautiful cloth, but these angels that will come, they won't have beautiful cloth. Rather, they'll have sacks with them. Have you ever been in a situation whereby you're very, very claustrophobic? You can't breathe properly. You can't see properly. It's very, very suffocating. Imagine being put in a sack whose ugliness is unparalleled. And you remember that the cloth that the righteous person will be wrapped in smells beautiful, smells nice. But these angels won't have sacks that are beautiful, smelling nice. No, quite the opposite. These angels, when the angel of death comes to you, then the angel of death won't say to you, oh beautiful soul, oh tranquil soul, oh good soul, come out to the mercy of Allah, come out to the forgiveness of Allah. La, he won't say that to you, but rather the angel will say to you, come out, O evil soul, come out, O wretched soul, come out to the anger of Allah, come out to the displeasure and the punishment of Allah. Now if you remember, the righteous soul comes out easily from the body, but the soul of the disbeliever, the soul of the evildoer, and the soul of the evil Muslim, because Muslims will also face punishment unless Allah forgives them in this life. Evil Muslims will face an evil punishment. The angel of death will say to such a person, come out to the wrath of Allah, and will not take out your soul easily. How will the angel take it out? Like a drop from a jug? No. Have you ever seen wool before? Now imagine wool that is wet, and imagine metal prongs being plunged into the wool, and imagine that metal prong being pulled out. How is that wool going to be? Is that wool going to pull out and come out very easily, or is it going to tear apart? When those prongs pull that wool, then those fibers of wool, because they're wet and tangled with those metal prongs, they're going to rip apart, tear apart, and that is exactly what is going to happen to the one whose soul is pulled out by the angel of the punishment of Allah. You're going to want to escape when the angel says, come out. So the angel, he plunges into your body, dives into your body, and pulls out your soul while the angel is pulling out your soul. And your soul is ripping apart, just like this wool rips apart. And then the angels, they don't hesitate and they don't delay in grabbing your soul and wrapping your soul and placing your soul in those sacks. As soon as they put you in those sacks, a foul, repugnant, putrid smell shall exude from your soul. And the angels will take your soul up. When they take your soul up, whoever comes across your soul shall say, who is this vile soul? And so the angels will say, this is so-and-so, the son of so-and-so, giving you the worst names that you were ever given to him, given by or named by in this life. And then the angels will continue to take your soul up until they reach the door of the first heaven. Now what happens when you reach that door? The angels seek permission to enter, for those doors to open so that you can enter into the heaven. But you're refused entry. Imagine this, my young brother and my young sister, may Allah bless you. Imagine you come home and mum or dad has locked the door for you, locked the door against you and chained up the door and padlocked the door, and there's no entry for you. Mom, Dad, can I come in please? And Mum and Dad give no reply. Mum and Dad, please let me in. And the only thing that you hear is that you're never going to be allowed in. How are you going to feel in that situation? Your heart will tear apart. Now imagine when your soul is being lifted, permission is sought for your soul to enter into the heaven, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He refuses you entry, the most merciful of those who show mercy, refuses you entry because of what you did in this life. Because you listened to shaitan, you gave in. And then Allah Jalla wa Ala, He says, write his record in a sijjeen, the list of the evildoers, in the lowest earth, and send him back to earth, for I created them from it, and I shall return them to it, and I shall bring them out from it once again. And so the wretched soul is returned back to earth, and the wretched soul is placed into its grave. And then again those angels, they come, they ask you to sit up, you're made to sit up, and then they ask you those questions, who is your Lord? But because you never worshipped Allah, you say, I don't know. The angels, they say, what is your religion? Because you never followed Islam, then you say, I don't know. The angels, they say to you, who is that man that was sent to you? Because you never bothered about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, bothered about following him, you say, la adri. I don't know. I heard people say something, so I just followed it. Everybody else was doing something, so I did it. Nobody else worshipped Allah, so I didn't do it. My friends didn't follow the Prophet, so then I forgot following him. I heard people doing something. I watched people doing something, so I just did what they did. So the angels will say you don't know and you never read. And so then the announcement is made. The announcement is made that he has lied. My slave has lied. And therefore, give him a bed from the fire. Clothe him with the clothing of the fire. And open up for him a door from the fire. Imagine the state that the person will be in at that time. Fire coming to him. In this world, we know what fire is. We know how it's unbearable for you to touch something that is extremely hot. Imagine touching something like charcoals and hot coals. It's unbearable. Yet the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam told us that the fire of the hellfire is 70 times more hot than the fire of this world. Imagine being engulfed in such fire, in such flames. The punishment in the grave will be severe. The punishment in the grave is something that is beyond imagination. You all know what it's like when you're hammering something, a nail for example, and the nail goes and it strikes your finger. How does it feel? How does it feel when your finger is struck with a hammer, for example? Extreme pain. But that is nothing, because that is just a small little thud against your finger. Imagine being crushed. Your fingers being crushed. Your body being crushed, because the person, when he's in his grave, the grave will enclose upon him. It will enclose and contract upon her until the sides of your body, the ribs within your body, they end up intertwining and crushing. Angels will have sledgehammers via which they will strike you. Striking, and your body will be made to crumble and then restored. This is what is in store for the person in his grave. When the person is in his grave, with all of this awful punishment, someone's going to come to him with a dark, gloomy face, an unwelcoming appearance. So when you're in the grave and you see this unwelcoming appearance, you say to the one that comes to you in your grave, you say to him, who are you? Your appearance It forewarns evil. It's like you're bringing me bad news. And so that evil appearance, that vile appearance, says to you that I am your deeds, your evil deeds. That is what you earned in this life. The devil waged a war against you, and you let him defeat you. The devil tempted you, and you fell into those temptations. The devil has his little paths by which he can take you to this punishment within the grave, and you just followed those paths. Now that day will be an awful day for you, my brother and my sister, if Allah, by His justice, gives you that punishment. May Allah save you from it. As I said before, the choice is up to you. You have two directions that you can go towards in life. You have the right direction and you have the wrong direction. You have the direction towards the bliss and the reward of Allah, and you have the direction towards pain and torture and the punishment of Allah. The ball is literally, as they say, in your court. Your parents, your teachers, they can show you the way, but you're gonna have to walk through the door yourself. Your parents, your teachers, they can show you the direction that you need to go towards, but you're the one that is gonna have to do the walking yourself. The ball is in your court. Now, the one who chooses a life of happiness, the life of Islam, the life of turning to Allah, the life of worshipping Him, then what is in store for him? What's the first thing that you need to do in order to adopt that life? To have a life of Islam, entering into Islam properly, entering into Islam completely. What do you need to do? The first thing that you need to do is you need to look at your company, your friends, those that you hang about with, because whatever causes you harm in your deen, whatever takes you away from the straight path, whatever is causing you and pushing you to follow the khutawat of shaitan, the paths of shaitan, the footsteps of shaitan, the main thing that is causing you to do so are your friends. Look at any criminal. Look at criminals that exist. Do you think they were born criminals? Or was it their environment, the people that they hung about with, their friends that led them to become criminals? So if you have friends that don't remind you of Allah, if you have friends that don't tell you about Allah, then you need to take action, my beloved and dear teenage brother and sister. You need to part company from those friends. Why are you going to have company of those friends? Some of you 15, 16, 17. Some of you are being tested with relationships, haram relationships. But those haram relationships, you know, are harmful for you. And those haram relationships, if you're engaged in them because of the fact that this person that you're with, you love them dearly and you don't want to part from them, and then is that person ever going to be with you in the afterlife? If you're doing haram, if you're pursuing haram, just because everybody else is doing it, just because of peer pressure, just because the whole crowd is doing it, so I might as well follow the crowd. Why should you be in darkness just because everybody else is in darkness? Why should you follow the direction that everybody else is heading towards when you know that that direction is a direction towards destruction? Why follow the crowd when the crowd isn't going to be there for you when you leave this world? The reality is, everyone's going to leave you. The reality is, every man is for himself. Every woman is for herself. And as I said earlier at the beginning, you've become a man now. you've become a girl now. You've become a woman now. And so you need to prepare yourself and have a frame of mind like that of a man. The man, when he leaves this world, then his friends aren't going to be there for him. His loved ones aren't going to be there for him. Those that told him to do haram, they're not going to be there for you. Think about it. Think about the time when you leave this world. When you leave this world, no one is going to be there. But when you leave this world, you're going to leave this world by yourself. When you enter into your next home, 6 feet under, is that haram relationship, the partner in your haram relationship, is she going to be there? Is he going to be there for you? Are your friends that told you to engage in criminal activity? Are your friends that told you to forget about Allah? Are your friends the ones that you stop praying for because you like spending time with them? Are those friends going to go in the grave with you? Or are you going to go in the grave by yourself, my brother, my sister? When the angels question you in your grave, then they shall question you by yourself. Nobody is going to come answering the questions for you. You're going to answer those questions all by yourself. When it is the case that you stand in front of Allah Jalla wa Ala, then that standing isn't going to be accompanied with mum and dad. The standing is going to be by yourself. When it's the case that you cross over the bridge over the fire of hell, the bridge that leads to Jannah, but it has been placed across and over and above the fire of hell. While you're crossing that bridge, are your buddies and your friends, are they gonna be there for you to help you cross? Or are you going to cross by yourself? If when the beasts from the fire of hell, when they try to come and attack you while you're crossing the bridge, are you going to defend yourself along with others? Are others going to help you? Or are you going to defend yourself and try to cross that bridge safely by yourself? When the prongs and the forks that surround the bridge come and try to attack you, is someone going to be there fending off those forks and those prongs? Or are you going to be there just by yourself? And if Allah Jalla wa Ala, by His mercy, allows you to enter into paradise, then you're going to enter into paradise by yourself because of what you did, not because of the deeds that somebody else did. And if Allah decrees by His fairness, His justice, that you enter into the fire of hell, and to burn in the fire of hell, and to be engulfed in the fire of hell, then when you're in the fire of hell, and when you scream and cry in those flames of the fire of hell, then you'll be doing so by yourself. So there's no point, my dear young brother and sister, for you to leave your deen, for you to leave worshipping Allah, for you to leave going in the right direction just because of your friends, just because of peer pressure, just because you want to follow the crowd, because the crowd is not going to be there for you in the afterlife. You're going to be there by yourself. But if you follow the straight path, my beloved brother, then what is in store for you is something great. It's something amazing. I want you to think about something. I want you to think about this destination that you're heading towards, paradise. In it there is something in store for you. Think about someone that you love, someone that is dear to you. Your mother perhaps, your father, your grandfather, your grandmother, someone that you love dearly, and imagine not being able to see that person for a long time. You wait day in and day out, week in and week out to see that person, the one that you really love, who you haven't seen for a long time. Years pass by and you haven't seen him, you haven't seen her. And then one day that time comes when you finally get to see him. You finally get to see the one that you have been waiting to see. How do you think you're going to feel when you see the one that you've been waiting to see for so many years? You're going to be overwhelmed with feelings, such feelings that words can't even describe. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in His great and mighty book, He has informed us about a reward that He's going to give to the righteous slaves. When the believing righteous people are put in paradise, and when the evil wrongdoers are put in hellfire, then an announcement shall be made. It shall be said, O people of paradise, you have a meeting with Allah. He wants to reward you at this meeting. So the people of paradise will say, what is it? Hasn't Allah already placed us in paradise? Hasn't Allah already saved us from the hellfire? Hasn't He brightened our faces? Hasn't He increased our deeds on the scales? At that point, Allah the Most High shall lift the veil from His face. Allah's Messenger, he said about this, he said, I swear by Allah, they will never have seen anything that gave them greater joy, greater delight, greater pleasure than seeing the face of their Lord. That is what is in store for you. Imagine your whole life you've been praying to someone. Your whole life you've been looking around you at this world and you've seen the handiwork of the one who created the skies. You look at the amazing planets. You look at the moon, the celestial bodies, the stars. You look at yourself and you look at your skin, your body, and you say, how great is the one who made me? How perfect is the one who made me? The one who gave me this brain by which I can think that is greater than any computer. How knowledgeable He must be. You look at the sun and how great it is. How powerful must He be? You look at the fact that you have air and oxygen. The fact that you can breathe. Imagine that oxygen was taken away from you. You'd never be able to breathe, and how difficult it would be for you. So you realize how generous the one who gave you this oxygen is. You become overwhelmed because you realize the greatness of the one who gave you life. Your whole life you've been praying to Him. Your whole life you've been worshipping Him. You go to sleep, He makes you come alive. You go to sleep and He wakes you up and you come alive. The one that you worshipped in this life, the one that you read about in His book, this great and mighty Creator who gave you life, the one that loves you more than your parents, that finally, after all of this struggle, you finally get to meet Him, get to see Him. Imagine the feeling, the overwhelming feeling, the great pleasure that you'll experience when you see Him. Allah's Messenger told us that that will be the greatest pleasure that the human being will ever have tasted, when they see the face of their Creator, the Most High. So as I said to you at the beginning, my brother and my sister, my young brothers and sisters in Islam, may Allah bless you and direct you to what is good for you. The devil, he's waging a war against you. You have to be ready. And there are only two directions that you can head. You fight against the devil, you fight against him and the temptation that he is throwing at you, and you go in the right direction, the direction towards Allah's pleasure, the direction towards a happy life in this world and the next. or just give in to the traps of the devil, fall for the traps of the devil, give in to the temptations of the devil, and head for the wrong direction. It's up to you. But I'm sure you know and you recognize that the reality is that it's not worth it. It's not worth falling for the traps of the devil. What is worth it is advancing towards Allah. What is worth it is getting close to Allah. And the best way that you could ever get close to Allah is this: sitting in the circles of knowledge. Get rid of your bad friends and take for yourself good friends. And put yourself in the circles of knowledge where Allah Jalla wa Ala, He is remembered. Because I swear by Allah, I swear by the one who gave me life and gave you life, that there is no life that is more satisfying than a life that is consumed with learning your deen, learning about your Rabb, and learning about what your Rabb wants from you. If you pursue that life, my dear brother and sister, then you will have no regrets at all. If you pursue this life, then this life will give you the greatest form of satisfaction that is possible for any human being to have. Now, as a form of encouragement in getting involved in good and beneficial activities, Al-Basira Quran School has organized the following project for you, our youth. You will need to write an assignment about 3 challenges that you think that you, the teenage Muslims, are facing, that you, the teenage Muslims, are having to deal with. And then you have to write about how you feel, what you think is the best way for these challenges to be addressed. This is an extension assignment for you to today's reminder. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow this reminder to not fall upon deaf ears, neither upon my ears or upon your ears, but rather may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow this reminder to be a reminder that causes me and you to act by what it necessitates. I'll close with a brief lesson to take heed from the life of a certain person of the past. This person was called Fudail ibn Iyad, rahimahullah. He was a great scholar of the past. However, did you know something? That this scholar at one time was not someone that was busied with seeking knowledge. At one time in his life, this person was a criminal, a highway robber. Now once, on an occasion, he was intending to go visit someone, to visit a certain woman, to visit a woman that he had a relationship with. Now when he was about to come near to the residence of this woman, he heard someone recite an ayah. أَلَمْ يَأْنِ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَن تَخْشَعَ قُلُوبُهُمْ لِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَمَا نَزَلَ مِنَ الْحَقِّ. Has not the time come for the hearts of those who believe to be affected by Allah's reminder, by the Quran and what has been revealed of the truth? When Fudail ibn Iyad, he heard this, then he said, yes, now the time has come. And so he left pursuing whatever he was about to pursue. And he went to Mecca and he became a worshipper of Allah, and he became busy with seeking knowledge, studying knowledge until he became a great scholar. In fact, he became a teacher of one of the greatest Imams of the past, Imam al-Shafi'i, rahimahumullah ta'ala jami'an. Fudayl ibn Iyad, a day came in his life when he decided to change and to head in the right direction. For those of you who perhaps have been neglectful concerning your Rabb and your Deen, and I hope that this reminder and that today perhaps may be similar to what was similar for Fudayl ibn Iyad, that you will change and take the right direction in life, heading towards the pleasure of Allah the Most High. I thank you for giving me your time. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you, my young and dear, beloved little brother and sister. May Allah bless you in your pursuits in life. May Allah bless you to make the right decision, not the wrong decision in life. May Allah bless you wherever you may be. May Allah bless you to be grateful to Him when He gives you something. May He bless you to be patient when He tests you with something. And may He bless you to be one who seeks forgiveness when you sin against Him, because these three are the gateways to happiness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He knows best. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.